Dorothy hummed along, her voice blending with Sheila's as the familiar melody of Days of Elijah filled Sheila's cozy living room. You know, Dorothy mused, I always wonder what it would have been like to live in those times, to see it all unfold. Sheila, ever the dreamer, nodded. Imagine witnessing the prophets, the miracles, just being there. A sudden, inexplicable shimmer rippled through the air, distorting the bookshelves and the framed photos. Before they could react, the room dissolved into a blinding white light, followed by a sensation of falling, then a soft landing on warm, gritty earth. They blinked, dust motes dancing in the golden light of a setting sun. Gone were the familiar walls. They stood on a rocky, arid plain. In the distance, a figure robed and weathered stood atop a small rise, his voice echoing with a power that vibrated in their very bones. These are the days of Elijah, he boomed, declaring the word of the Lord. Dorothy gasped, grabbing Sheila's arm. It's him! It's happening! They watched, mesmerized, as the prophet spoke of a God who answered by fire, challenging the false idols. The air crackled with tension, a palpable sense of great trial, of famine and darkness and sword hanging heavy. Yet amidst the despair etched on the faces of the scattered few who listened, there was a flicker of hope. A younger man with a stern yet righteous gaze moved among them, speaking of justice and turning hearts. Sheila whispered, It's like righteousness being restored, just like Moses. As the light faded, a different voice, raw and urgent, pierced the twilight from a nearby wadi. Still, we are the voice in the desert crying, Prepare ye the way of the Lord! It was a stark, compelling cry that resonated with the barren landscape, a call to repentance that felt both ancient and incredibly present. Suddenly, the desert transformed. The sky above them swirled with impossible colors, parting to reveal not clouds of vapor, but swirling luminous forms. A sound deep and resonant, unlike any instrument they had ever heard, swelled around them, a trumpet call that shook the very ground. They instinctively lifted their faces, tears streaming down their cheeks. The words of the chorus became a living vision. Behold, he comes, riding on the clouds, shining like the sun. A profound sense of release, of burdens lifted, washed over them. It was the year of Jubilee, a freedom they had never known, and they felt an undeniable pull towards a distant, radiant light. And out of Zion's hill salvation comes, they both whispered, the words no longer just lyrics, but a truth they were experiencing. The vision faded, and they found themselves in a different scene. A vast, desolate valley stretched before them, strewn with dry, brittle bones. A whirlwind of dust and spirit swept through, and to their astonishment, the bones began to clatter, reforming, sinews and flesh appearing as if by magic. These were the days of Ezekiel, the dry bones becoming as flesh. It was a testament to life from death, a powerful, undeniable renewal. Their surroundings shifted again to a vibrant, bustling city. People were gathered, not in despair, but in joyous assembly, their voices raised in song. They saw figures working diligently, not on a physical temple, but on something more profound. A community united in worship. This must be the days of your servant David, rebuilding a temple of praise, Dorothy murmured, feeling the infectious joy of the crowd. Beyond the city, fields stretched to the horizon, golden and abundant. The fields are as white in your world, and among them figures moved with purpose, gathering the bounty. We are the laborers in your vineyard, Sheila said, understanding the call to action, declaring the word of the Lord. As the final echoes of their journey began to fade, a singular, powerful truth resonated within them, a declaration that transcended time and space. There's no God like Jehovah. The words weren't just a bridge in a song. They were the undeniable conclusion of everything they had witnessed. With a final, gentle pull, they were back in Sheila's living room, the familiar scent of lavender and old books filling the air. The Days of Elijah CD was still playing, the final chorus swelling. They looked at each other, eyes wide with shared wonder. The song would never be the same. Every note, every word was now imbued with the dust of ancient lands, the cry of prophets, and the radiant light of a promise fulfilled. They had not just heard the lyrics, they had lived them.